Today I'm talking the 5 biggest mistakes that I see new backpackers and seasoned backpackers make. Are you making them? Let's find out. Hey folks, welcome to another video. My name is Jeremy and this channel is all about outdoor adventure. We're talking hiking, hunting, backpacking, and awesome gear. If you're into any of those things, then start right now by subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss a thing. So I've been backpacking for a long time, since I've been 13, and I have made a ton of mistakes. In fact, the 5 things that I'm going to talk about today, I'm guilty of every single one of them. So I'm going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that I see beginner backpackers and seasoned backpackers make all the time. And you want to stick around to the end because I'm going to talk about 2 pieces of gear that should be on every hike that you take. So let's get started. Should we count down? I kind of feel like we should count down. So coming in at number 5, hiking with a big handheld flashlight. Now man, when I got started in Boy Scouts, carrying a big mag light like this was almost a badge of honor. But when you're hiking in the backcountry, just say no. Turn it in for a nice headlamp. This Black Diamond has served me well for a long time. You want to keep your hands free, this is the way to do it. So don't make this mistake. Don't carry the big handheld flashlight. Go with the compact headlamp instead. At number 4, the Big A knife. That's right, the big survival knife. Again, 15-year-old Jeremy loved carrying one of these on his hip. You know, you just feel so good. It's like the whole Jim Bowie, Davy Crockett, you're at the Alamo, just you and your knife conquering the world. But you know what? When you're backpacking, this guy is complete overkill. You're talking about almost 12 ounces, 11.8 ounces for this blade. While it's awesome, that's entirely too heavy. You don't need this while you're backpacking. What I've been running for the past several years is just a little lock blade folder. This happens to be from Gerber. It's got the nice skeletonized frame. And what I really like about it, it's a lock blade. So you're not going to jam that down. It's not going to come down and cut your finger. So it's a lot safer and it's a lot lighter. You're talking 1.8 ounces. You can't go wrong with that. Ditch the big blade, go with the small blade. Less is more out in the backcountry. Coming in at number 3, too complex of a cook system. And I did this. Obviously, I own this cook kit. I carried this many years ago, and it has pots that become skillets and little pot grabber, and you know, you have two pans, and yeah, you don't need all of this. All of this is overkill, especially for me these days. You know, I'm going out in the backcountry, and I get to camp. I just need to. I'm usually pulling out a mountain house or something similar. You know, so I'm only looking to maybe boil some water to put in here, maybe boil some more water to make a hot drink. You know, it's nice to have some tea or some hot chocolate or whatnot, but you know, this guy only requires 2 cups of water. I don't need all of this to boil 2 cups of water. Instead, what I've been running, this. But what I have here, a 1 liter titanium pot. Inside, sometimes I do splurge and bring the little green campy cup. Don't lie, you do it too. It's okay. But this This is a little alcohol burning stove. This brand happens to be a So Light. You can usually pick these up for less than 30 bucks. If you don't want to spend the 30 bucks, you can make your own, which I've done here, and it works out just fine. If you're interested in that, leave a comment below and I might do a video on how to make these little guys. This is more than a week's worth of fuel. It's just denatured alcohol. You can pick it up practically any place. From the minute that you put the alcohol in it and light it on fire, you have boiling water in about 7 minutes. You take that, you dump it into your mountain house, and maybe you boil up some more water for to use your green campy cup, and you have some tea or some coffee or some hot cocoa while you're waiting on your mountain house, and life is good. This whole setup here all condenses down, and this whole thing, including a week's worth of fuel, 8.8 ounces for the cook kit. You throw in the fuel and you're at 18.9 ounces. You're just over a pound in your whole cook system plus your consumable fuel. You compare that with, we start throwing a big cook kit on here, I mean, we're 20 ounces just with the cook kit. Not to mention your stove. Man, I'll tell you, do yourself a favor, especially if you're going solo, go lighter with your cook kit. You don't need all of this. But be conscious of your weight with your cook system. Again, less is more. We're at number 2. Everybody has made this mistake. I am certainly guilty of this when I first started. What is it? Too many clothes. Whew. You got your hiking clothes on, you got a good layering system, you get to camp, and man, you just have too many clothes. Like what's in here? We got a pair of socks, another pair of socks, got some underwear, maybe some more underwear, a shirt, oh my. Another pair of pants. This is way too much. You're going out to the backcountry. Wear your hiking clothes. That's the only set that you need. You don't need to leave these in the car. Pro tip, leave a clean change of clothes in your car. But when you're on the trail, you don't need a second hiking shirt. You don't need a second pair of hiking pants. Well, what happens when they get wet or whatever? You can dry them overnight. You take off your hiking shirt, you have your base layer or your layering system. You take off your outer hiking clothes, put them at the bottom of your sleeping bag. Your body heat's going to dry them overnight. I like to sleep with mine maybe cuddled up around my core. That way it kind of dries them out. Socks and underwear. I do bring one pair of underwear when I'm going out on multi-day trips. I like to rotate my underwear every other day, and it's more of a morale boost for me. You don't necessarily have to do it, but I'll forgive you if you bring an extra pair of underwear. It's just kind of nice. Socks. Definitely bring a second pair of socks. You want to take care of your feet. So when you're finished hiking and you finish getting your camp set up, or if you're going to be sitting for a little while, take off your boots, air out your feet, put on a dry pair of socks. It's going to help prevent blisters. If you bring a third pair of socks, you're starting to get into the overkill territory, but I'm not going to fault you for a third pair. Again, your feet are your most important commodity out in the backcountry. You want to take care of the feet. So if you have 3 pairs of socks, 2 in your pack, 1 on your feet, I'm not going to fault you for that. If you have more than that, you should really ask yourself why. And if you have a good reason, that's on you. I'm not running any more than 3 pairs of socks. So that's just me. Do yourself a favor, cut down on the amount of clothes that you're bringing. You're going to be hiking, you're going to be sweating, you're going to be stinky. Embrace your stink bubble while you're out in the backcountry. It's okay. And going along with that, a little bonus here. I don't have it up here, but a little bonus: leave your deodorant at home as well. Again, you're going to be stinky. Save the weight. Maybe leave it in the car. That's fine, but just don't have it in your pack. It's just one less thing that you have to throw into the bear bag. So you're good. So that's it for clothes. Less is more out in the backcountry. We're down to the number one mistake that I see backpackers making. Why do we still have this here? All right, we're down to the number one mistake that I see beginning backpackers and seasoned backpackers make all the time. And I totally understand it, because it's a comfort thing to have this big med kit in your pack. You think, I need a splint, I need scissors, I need whatever else is in here. There's probably a snake bite kit in here and an ace bandage. I mean, what if I fall and fracture my leg and you're not going to need it. I used to volunteer as an emergency medical technician back in college. I even went a step beyond that and got certified as a wilderness EMT. And unless you know how to use all the stuff in here, it doesn't do you a bit of good in the backcountry. So all of this, for the vast number of people, is wasted weight. This is even overkill, in my opinion. This is what I normally run, and it is just I like the organization of this little trifold wallet type thing, and I packed it with the stuff that I would like to have handy, and so I tend to overpack because I have a medical or an emergency medicine background, and I'll tell you, this is not needed. What's really needed in the backcountry, I like to have Benadryl and ibuprofen and maybe some Imodium, some antidiarrheals. I like to have some stuff for blisters, so some moleskin or some gel type pads. A couple of Band-Aids is fine because you can use those for blisters and little cuts. But you don't need the triple antibiotic ointment or the after bite, itch relief. If you get bit by some mosquitoes or you roll around in some stinging nettle, suck it up. If I'm really concerned with my weight, I'll pare this down, but in general, this will make you feel a lot better just to have, and it's way better than this. This med kit comes in at 21 ounces. That's insane. Don't do that to yourself. This guy, 3.3 ounces. Still heavy, but better. You can easily get this down to under an ounce and be just fine for weekend adventures and probably up to a week. Again, when going into the backcountry, less is more. Invest in some knowledge on how to feel comfortable using this, and if you're interested in wilderness medicine, and actually in the comments, let me know what you're most concerned with out in the backcountry as far as injuries or whatnot. And if there's enough interest, I'll do a video on how to treat and assess those types of injuries out in the backcountry using as little as possible, or better yet, using gear that's already on your back. So those are the 5 biggest gear mistakes that I see beginner and seasoned backpackers make all the time. I'm going to throw in 2 bonuses here because there's 2 pieces of gear that are completely underrated that I think you should bring on every trip. First one, lip balm. Especially if you are going to be in windy conditions or at altitude, your lips are going to get chapped. There's a myriad of survival uses for lip balm as well. So for the weight, carry it. And the second thing, a pack towel. Now, a lot of people will think that maybe this is excessive. This can just be a little chamois that you get from your auto store. This one actually comes from REI, but it certainly doesn't have to. But just that chamois type material that is absorbent, has a ton of uses, from wiping out condensation from your tent. You can use it as a hot pot holder. It's just really invaluable. Even just wiping down sweat before you get into your sleeping bag just makes you feel cleaner. So this weighs an ounce or two, absolutely worth its weight. Douglas Adams was absolutely right. If you want to hitchhike around the galaxy or go into the backcountry, you should always bring your towel. And that's going to do it for this video. If you have found this video helpful and or encouraging, please share it with a friend, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that bell so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, John 3:17.